The more time I spend in Europe, the harder it is to go back to America. Not because I don't want to see my family, but just because life changes. It's cool to see my friends, but on this recent trip home, I didn't get to. Life has just taken us in different directions, and our priorities have changed. Our schedules didn't match up, and we simply didn't have time. This isn't a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. People grow and change, and that's part of life. This used to bother me in the beginning because the person I am now, in Europe, is so different from the person I was in Ohio. I had a hard time going back because I felt that, although I like the person I am now, I had to go back to being the old me, the Ohio me. She wasn't a bad person, this Ohio version of myself, but she was just very much a chameleon who morphed into whatever the people around her wanted her to be. I didn't like to go back because I felt that I had to go back to being that version of myself. I didn't like that feeling. I had grown into something else while living abroad. I was more comfortable with myself and who I wanted to be. Living in a new environment provided me with the opportunity to discover who I really wanted to be. I didn't have the social construct of my past following me because the people that I was meeting here were new and fresh. They didn't know anything about me, so I was free to be myself. We grow up surrounded by people who know our whole life, and they know everything about us. It makes it so much harder for us to change because those people are expecting us to behave a certain way. It's especially hard in the Midwest because the culture there seems to promote the status quo. It's like, this is who you are, this is who you've always been, and this is who you'll always be. Why do you need to change? It wasn't until 2017 that I finally brought the Europe version of myself to Ohio. My parents were cool with it because they had gone through the change with me. Despite living so far away, I do have a good relationship with my parents, and I do talk to them quite often. I've also been fortunate that they've never pressured me to be something I'm not. I'd also like to think that they like this version of myself. Still a people pleaser, but a bit less of one. Now when I cross the ocean, I look forward to spending time with my family. I genuinely love hanging out with my parents, so much so that I prefer to spend my evenings having dinner at home rather than go out. I enjoy going to my grandma's and eating all of her snacks and walking around Walmart for hours hoping we don't see anyone we know. If I'm not with them, then I go to as many yoga classes as I can. I haven't been able to find a good yoga studio in Prague that offers the level or quality of yoga that I can find in my hometown. So I soak up as many good vibes as I can. So for those of you who are struggling and feel like you're living two different lives, two different personalities, try blending them together, or choose the one that you relate to most, the one that you really want to be. And the people who love you and care about you are going to support you in that. And those that don't, well, maybe they're not the best for you. So follow your own path, be yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. Look it. We packed more stuff in this car for this one little trip than I packed to come all the way across the ocean.